Hey guys, just want to give you a real quick wedding planning and budgeting tool that you may or may not be aware of. It's a cool site called costawedding.com, and it allows you to make custom quotes for your wedding to see and estimates to see how much your wedding might cost. So they give a nationwide average there on the main page, but more importantly, you can put in your zip code of where you're going to have your wedding, and it's going to give you an average wedding cost for that area. So this is pretty cool. It gives you a breakdown by vendors, just a real rough number. Really what it comes down to is how many guests you're going to have. In our experience, the average wedding is probably about 150 guests. And this is all well and good, but more importantly, you can go down here to create a wedding cost estimate. And the same thing, you're going to put in your zip code of, they're going to say your home, but it's really where you're going to have your wedding. How many guests you're going to have, we're going to say 150. And we're going to stay within 25 miles of this location, right? That's where we plan to have our wedding. We're going to try and be conservative here and save a little bit of money and say the ceremony and reception will be at the same location. And then which words best describe your wedding? Okay, so we're just going to have a traditional wedding. If you want to do something unique or vintage, you could check that. A garden wedding, or maybe you want to go all out and have an elegant or extravagant wedding. Certainly you'd want to check that. There's a few other options here. One is to hire well-experienced professionals like a photographer or planner or DJ, or do you want somebody brand new that's just new to the business, is maybe still learning? So most folks for their wedding, they say they want to hire somebody that's well-experienced. And do you want to have your wedding at a popular location? So we'll go ahead and check that. We'll hold off on the designer labels, unique or custom products, and click the next step here. All right, so the most important question is where your wedding will take place. We're going to click event facility. That's pretty common. Sometimes people will have their wedding at a private residence. That's a great way to save a little bit of money because the wedding venue is such a huge expense, of course. And then here's all the kind of traditional services. You're going to get a wedding dress. The groom, is they're going to get a tuxedo, or you're going to have a DJ as opposed to a live band, flowers, gifts for everybody, which is pretty traditional, invitations, that sort of thing. Of course, because we're photographers, we're going to highlight some photography here. So are you going to have an engagement sesh? That's usually pretty common. Most couples elect to do that. Do you want some prints, either as gifts for relatives and members of the bridal party, and or some prints for the home that maybe you place in a place of honor in the home, on the wall? And of course, a wedding album. Great way to remember your day and everything all this planning and money that you spent on this whole thing. It's a great way to certainly memorialize that and tell that story for future generations and other relatives that maybe couldn't make the wedding itself. All right, so now we're starting to get a little bit more accurate here on what is our average estimate. So I've seen anywhere in this area from averages being about 37 like this around $43,000, depending on which different options you choose here. But more importantly than this, it gives you a cost breakdown for each category of items that you might spend money on for your wedding. And so you can decide what's important to you, and if you want to cut costs a little bit, what you could pare down and what you could splurge on a little bit. So of course, when we come to photo and video, we'll talk just briefly about this. Kind of the general consensus or the general rule is that couples spend somewhere between 12 to 15% of their budget on photography. That's kind of a traditional guideline. Of course, here, if you look at this, when we go for absolutely everything, it's a little higher. So it's going to be just over 20% of your budget is going to be dedicated to photography. And in this case, we didn't check videographer, but that would be an additional fee as well if you wanted to do that. So some people will save some money by not having an engagement session or something like that. But these are all things to consider and think about before you start contacting vendors and asking for estimates. It's a good idea to have a good budget in mind, so you know exactly what you're looking for and what you should expect to spend on your wedding. Anyway, we hope this tool is helpful for you. And if you have any questions about photography, certainly give us a call. But we hope, regardless of where you're located, this is a great website and will help you accurately plan and budget for your upcoming wedding. All right, take care. We'll talk to you guys soon.